Hi guys, so this is my first video on my YouTube channel for my painting, and I just kind of want to give you an idea of, my workspace, things I work with, and then I'll show you some of the canvases I've already done. Now once it gets warmer out, I will be working here in my little balcony area. There's a lot of space, a lot of natural light, and it works really well once it gets warmer. Unfortunately, there is no heat out here, so right now I'm not using the space, but come summer, absolutely. So I do want to show you here, I do have a bunch of my paint pour boxes ready, just so you don't get paint on the floor, things like that. Honestly, I'm cheap. I literally find any and old cardboard boxes laying around that I can use for different size canvases. I go ahead and I tape any spots where paint may drip out of the box. Keep these all nice and firmed up. That way nothing gets on your floor. You don't make any messes. I have multiple different sizes, as you can see. I also do have my drying rack here, where I go ahead and I just put my canvases on here after they're mainly dry so that I can go ahead and varnish them later. And let's go ahead over into where I'm currently painting. And this is my office area. I currently share it with my husband. He's a gamer, so he's got his side. And then I've got my side. Let me close my balcony door here. Got some little artwork up on the walls, things I've colored, and, a couple paint by numbers. There's one. Got another one over there on the wall. So here, right now, I currently have all my canvases down here. I actually went to Michael's yesterday, spent a lot of money on canvas and paint, so I tend to buy in bulk. So I've got a couple large canvases. I've got 10 of the 8x10s. And then this one down here is 8 of the 10x10s as well. So I like to work with the smaller canvases. Haven't graduated to this size yet, but we will get there one day. So currently, my smaller canvases, I tend to work right here on this surface. It's just a shelf that I put up. As you can see, I have lots of different color paints. Now, so far I've been sticking with 2 brands. I work with the Craftsmart, which is $70 at your or 70 cents at your local Michael's store. Lots of different colors. And then I use Folk Art as well. That's around $1.50 a bottle. When it comes to colors that I'm going to use a lot of, I do get these large bottles. These are $3 a piece. I've got my plastic cups for my paint mixing. Got my torch for when I'm doing my pourings and getting bubbles out. Popsicle sticks for stirring. So far, this is the silicone lube that I have used the most to create my cells. And I found this on Amazon. And then for my pouring medium, I've only used 2 brands. I've used Sargent Art and I've used Liquitex. Currently, I've been sticking with Liquitex. I tend to like the consistency it makes my paints. As for my varnishing, this is what I've been using, my gloss varnish. Just spray that on. Alright, and like I said, lots of colors here. I've got mattes, I've got metallics, I've got acrylic satin, lots of different things. And actually I have a couple little wooden pieces here I thought I wanted to try out that are currently drying. I poured them this morning. I don't know if you can see the colors too well on these. They're just some little wooden crowns I figured I'd give a shot on. Alright, so as for canvases I've done already, I'm going to start with the beginning and when I kind of started pouring and graduate to where I'm at now. So this was my first ever one. It did not come out really well. You can't see too much of the different colors I used, and the paint turned kind of chunky. It was a bad consistency or bad paint, one or the other. I tried to play around with it and make it a little prettier, but it is what it is. This is just a canvas panel. They're very cheap. They do tend to warp if you don't try and put something heavy on them to hold them down, but these were good for practice. So there's the first one I've ever done. And then the next one, I actually started trying to play around and get some cells on. I just used some black and gold. You can see a little bit of cells were coming through. They kind of spread out a little, and my paint again was still a little chunky. Again, canvas panel. So then I started trying to play around with different methods. These were dirty flip cup pours. And then I started trying to play with the swipe method. So this swipe method, I actually kind of liked how this came out. You can tell in the areas where I swiped multiple times to try and disperse the colors. Not fantastic, but for a beginner, not terrible. Now this one, I was loving how it came out, and then I kind of messed with it and messed it up. This was another swipe method, and as you can see, it started hitting a little bit. Now the bottom, you can tell it was a swipe, but up at the top, you can kind of tell I started playing with it. I tried to take a straw and do that blow method everyone's been playing around with, and yeah, it just kind of messed it up and made it kind of chunky. Again, canvas panel, not a big deal. So our next one here, this was just another dirty pour. Flip cup. Still not fantastic, but I was learning, you know, I was enjoying the process of it. Now this one, I tried to play with metallic paints and found out it's not always the greatest idea. You know, a lot of the colors are lost unless you look at it at an angle, like say there, but looking at it straight on, not impressive. Canvas panel. For some reason, I wanted to play around with painter's tape and see if I could do some negative space, and I guess there are ways to do it. Not the way I tried though. But I did some playing around with it. Now I did love how this panel was before I did that. You can see there were some cells coming through. It looked really nice. That gold was really popping out of there. And then when I pulled the tape off, oh, it kind of got messed up. I tried to paint it in to see how it would look. But not a huge fan, but it's a learning process. Right. So I actually really like how this next one had come out. I started playing around with different methods of the pours and things like that. And this one is pretty cool. Now my consistencies were still off on my paint. You can see where it's kind of got that texture going on. But I do really like how the gold and the blue were coming together in this one. So I have another panel here, and I did a lot of these to practice. This one again had some metallic paints. Oops, sorry, it's a little out of focus there. There we go. Some metallic paint mixed with some regular paint. I do like the blue in this, but the other colors, not the greatest with how they were kind of mixing together in here. All right. Now this one, I actually really like. This is one of my last canvas panels. I did a swipe method with the silicone oil, and I actually love the variation of the colors on this. I love how the white was coming through. A little too much white up in the top section, but as for the rest of it, I really like this. And I wish I had done it on a regular canvas instead of just this panel, but hey. Alright, so then I graduated to some real canvases. I tried to replicate that gold and black one again on a regular canvas. It didn't come out as great. But again, it was my first real canvas trying to work on it. But it does look pretty cool at some angles, like right there, that's looking pretty cool. Straight on, not as much. And as you can see, these are pre-stretched canvases. Again, all of this stuff I'm getting at Michael's. I have a serious addiction to Michael's right now. I think I spent almost $90 yesterday. Now, on to my next canvas. I actually really like this one. So we got some cool pinks in there, some blues, some black. And actually, when I posted this onto one of my paint pouring groups, I didn't notice it, someone else did. They were like, oh, that looks like a dragon. And as soon as they mentioned it, I can see it. You can kind of see the mouth here, and then the nostrils up here, the smoke coming out. So now I'm in love with it, and every time I look at it, all I can see is that dragon. Again, this is another canvas, pre-stretched at Michael's. All right. So then I moved on to a little bit bigger ones. And I think I'd learned my lesson with the metallics and kind of messing around with them. But I do like this one. So it's a little bigger. And as you can see, straight on, not the greatest thing in the world. But when you tilt it, you can kind of see these cells popping up. And they just look really cool. These cells here, and then you have the ones over here. Oh, there we go. So I do like this. But it's kind of one of those pieces where you have to kind of walk back and forth and see it at different angles to kind of get the effects of it. And again, pre-stretched canvas. And another one where I wanted to go with an ocean theme. I really wanted to do a piece with all blues. And I ended up mixing some regular paints with metallics. Again, and there's a glitter one here too, actually, if I remember correctly. It's all different color blues. So looking at an angle again, looks really cool. You see some cool variations in there. You know, a lot of different things going on. But straight on, it's just kind of okay, you know. But again, you can't control the paint. You just kind of do with it what you want and hope for the best. It does like to move around a lot on you. It likes to mix differently. Alright, so this is another one. This was actually my first swipe on a regular canvas. Now, I got a lot of green on that side. I don't know how that happened. And I got some weird looking cells in here. Certain spots of this I do really like. Like, I love the lines here in this area, how that came through. I do like the cells of the green popping up. If I could just take that section right there and kind of blow it up onto the whole canvas, I'd be in love. But it is what it is. And now this next one. This was my favorite one so far. I tried to do a tree ring pour, which is essentially you mix your colors and your cups, your pouring medium, get them all together, layer them into the regular cup, and then you just go ahead and pour. No silicone, just your pouring medium, your paint, maybe a little water to thin it out. But this one is my absolute favorite. Let me just pick it up here. So look at that. I love all these lines in it. And it looks like, based on it now, that I used 3 colors. I used white, I used kind of a fuchsia, and then a turquoise. And as you can see here, you got some really cool lines going on down here. Over here, there's definitely more concentration of white down in this corner, but the lines look so cool. And as you go up, you can see more and more of that color coming in. I got a couple of cells popping in here with white. I'm not sure how that happened because I didn't use silicone oil, but you know what? I'm not mad about it. I really like this. And as you go up to the top, you can see there was more of the blue and the purple versus the white. But all in all, this one so far is my favorite. I'm absolutely in love. And all of these so far have been varnished. As you can see, they have that little bit of shine to them. But so far, this one was phenomenal. Love it. I will definitely be doing more of these pours later on. And for my next project, like I have these little wooden pieces drying because I wanted to try and see how wood was going to come out with the paint pouring. These are just cheap little packs of crowns and things like that. I got at Michael's, like $2 for 6 pieces. So I'm not mad if they don't turn out. But for my husband's Valentine's Day gift, I picked up this big old wooden heart. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do a white base coat on it, and then I'm going to do some reds and pinks and things like that. I'm probably going to do a tree ring pour. This is thick. This was about $3 at Michael's. So we're going to see how it comes out. And hopefully I'll be able to have someone record me doing that one to post that one for you guys, so you'll be able to go ahead and watch one of my pours. That's all I have for you today. But definitely tune back in, see what I have going on. You know, come and check out some more of my crazy workspace, you know, some of the fun trouble I get into playing around with my paints. You never know what you'll find out. Have a good day.